Combustion air is part of our fire triangle. We need that to make sure our flame works. Makeup air. So in that draft hood, we're bringing air into the room for our combustion, and we're bringing air into our room for our flue system. As the flue system takes air and the burner takes air, it has to be made up somewhere. So our makeup air is either coming in from vents on the wall. The rule for that is 1 square inch of net-free area for every 4,000 BTUs. And that's an opening at the top of within 12 inches of the ceiling, and an opening the same size within 12 inches of the floor. The openings can be different sizes. That's the minimum size opening. And if you put a filter there or a louver, that increases it as well because it's net-free area. There's another rule that says if you're taking it from an adjacent room, it's 1 square inch for 1,000 BTUs, but that's not very common. It's possible to establish enough draft that our room becomes depressurized or at a negative pressure in the room. You can tell that if you open a door and the air is kind of sucking on it. So if you're opening your boiler room door and that it's trying to be sucked closed, there probably is insufficient makeup air to that room. And what sometimes happens is they'll just prop the door open to make the appliance work because it doesn't burn really well if they close the door. But anyway. Right. I think I've really talked about this already. If the draft's insufficient, we'll get spillage into the room, and that's bad, but moments of spillage are somewhat normal for Category 1 appliances. And for the longest time, that's all we had was Category 1, until the 70s and 80s when, well, you know what, we need to make these more efficient and stop sending so much heat, 17%, out the stack. And we'll get to some of that a little bit more. Right, square inch per number of BTUs, usually in the thousands. Top of a water heater. So this is a thermal image. The red is hot, the blue is cold, and we can see that the top of our heater is getting hot, which means this is not venting properly. You'll see corrosion and things like that on top of your water heater. If you have a tank style water heater, look at the top and see if it looks like either of these. Make sure you put on your thermal vision before you want to see that view. I mentioned the blowing smoke into the stack. You could do that here. If the chimney was at a negative, it would suck the smoke up the stack. If not, it would just hover around the room. And here's a mirror. Some techs will use a mirror if it fogs up because of all the moisture in the flue products. The mirror will fog up if it's not venting properly. And this is towards the bottom, but if there's enough draft, all of the excess heat goes out the stack. Any questions?